Y'all been asking about it. I've been working really hard. We're finishing up a couple things. And turn that down for y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glenn here, author of How to Get Great Dating Outcomes in a Modern World, TMG Book Series. Be in there. Part 2. That is the audio recording in my voice. I know. I'm supposed to get it done. So what? Get over at. But we're here today, and we're just going to do Don't Let Go. Well, this playlist goes. Huh? Great part. 4. That type of day. Welcome, welcome. We're here to react. We're here to react strong. We got to keep reacting strong because y'all don't know how to act. Make sure you click and subscribe to get more of me just singing in the microphone. Make sure you click and subscribe. If you have not purchased our book, the TMG Book Series Presents How to Get Great Dating Outcomes in a Modern World, Parts 1 and 2 available on Amazon. Paperback, Kindle, audiobook for Part 1, Part 2 coming. I had to get my voice was out and I wasn't feeling well, and I was recovering from surgery. You know how it is. Excuses. But you know, we back now. So we're here and we're just going to talk a little bit. I have not missed doing this, but I've missed y'all. But y'all just unhappy. And I want y'all to be happy. I want you to get the dating outcomes that you're looking for, because I'm happy. I'm happily married. Everybody in my group's happily married. Everybody's out here having kids and buying houses and buying properties and starting businesses, and the business are real businesses, not the little BS stuff y'all like to do. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what we can do. This is why I say the stuff that I say. This is why we're here. This is why I will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop till you guys are all happily, healthily mated and committed to one person. Men, one woman. Women, one man. Marriage, children, long-term legacy as a result. Because otherwise, here's what's going on. So now this is a video that I was sent called The Mating Crisis, where the dating market is doomed. I'm actually just gonna let it play, because one of the concerns that I have had through this process over the past 2.5 years now is the more that I talk to content creators, we're all saying the same thing. We want people to get the outcome that they want, but it's just so hard. We are now about to experience the impact of that downstream. So let's go ahead and play this. Who's this from? Let's go ahead and play this.
Bad is beginning to unfold in economically developed nations.
The more that I think about this, the more I feel like we might be totally fucked.
Young men are abandoning colleges at a rapid rate.
An NYU professor says fewer men going to college will lead to a mating crisis, with the U.S. producing too many broke and alone men.
This is really not good for society. Like it or not, a 4-year college degree is required for entry to the upper echelon of America.
Women with college degrees don't want to partner with men who don't have a college.
High value skills that are needed in the marketplace, where you can go and extract the value through profit, is what's needed in the marketplace. I have a 4-year degree. I got another 2-year degree. I got plenty of certificates. High value skill is the outcome, not a 4-year degree, guys. And you can at me all you want. Proud alumnus of the Florida A&M University. 4-year degree is not the outcome. It's the high value skill that you can take to the market and further polish. I hate when they say stuff like that.
The mating inequality that's going to come out of this dearth of men in college poses an existential risk to our economy and our society.
As women continue to excel in education and the workplace alike, a never-increasing number of the male population are withdrawing. In the last 10 years, the number of men between the ages of 18 and 30 reporting no sex in the last year has tripled. And the worrying thing is that this could so easily lead to a violent storm.
The most dangerous person in the world is a broke and a lone male, and we are producing too many of them.
The future for relationships between men and women is starting to look bleak.
If men don't kill themselves, they're exiting education and society and family life at the highest rates ever. Women are frantically pursuing careers only to discover that they're unable to find a partner that they're attracted to and then jump on meds at 40 years old. And then the people who want kids can't find a partner that does as well. Birth rates declining, faith in the leaders and the news organizations non-existent, and everyone's just about sufficiently sedated not to notice or care that it's going on.
That's a precise and accurate summary of how the West has declined and will.
I'm gonna need more time. Did he read my book?
Collapse, yes.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How did we arrive at this point?
This is
In the not too distant past, marriage preceded sex, and young women were sold by their families to eligible men of equal or
this is- okay,
superior
guys,
social
this is-
status.
yeah,
These
we're
young
not doing
women
that.
had
We're not selling women to older men, older creepy men. Let's stop that. We're not doing that in the West. Let's stop the narrative that women are being taken advantage of when they're young and helpless by old men and by their families. That's not the case.
little say in the matter, and once they were married, they remained dependent on their husband's earnings until they died. The lives of both men and women were extremely tough. Most men suffered grueling days in the fields, earning very little money, and most women suffered grueling days in the home, earning no money. Women tended to their children, but also to domestic duties, which back then were far more difficult and time-consuming. The technologies we take for granted today, like the vacuum cleaner, electric washing machine, dishwasher, and so on, had yet to come to humanity's aid. Even when the Industrial Revolution was in full swing, many households, especially those in rural areas, still didn't have running tap water. But everything changed in the 20th century. In the United States, the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, ratified in the year of 1920, permitted women the right to vote, and a series of technological advancements followed, which began to turn the tide. Chief among these developments were the electric washing machine and the birth control pill.
The introduction of the pill caused a tremendous social shift. Unmarried women were able to.
No, that wasn't Blossom. Y'all know Blossom? Y'all know her as Amy on Big Bang Theory, but that's Blossom. That was our Blossom, bro. Washing machine and birth control. New birth control is a part of it. I guess I did not consider the importance of a washing machine. Yeah.
To have sex without getting pregnant, which is enormously significant because you didn't have to get married to have sex, or you didn't have to risk an abortion.
Control over the reproductive process in particular meant that women were free to pursue educational and economic success for the first time in history. Marriage became a matter of choice as opposed to a social or economic necessity. By 1970, 50% of single women and 40% of married women were participating in the labor force, and 1981 was the last year that more men than women graduated from a 4-year undergrad.
Yeah, we talked about this in our book. We talk about how women entering, and not just into the workforce in the 70s, but also being enrolled and being more enrolled from 1981, 1982 on and staying that way. We find that more women are enrolled on most college campuses and programs than men, and the numbers are not going to decline. The hope what this talks about from an article standpoint is what we know to be true through Goldman Sachs survey. By the year 2030, half of the women in America specifically, and I believe they also add North America, will be unmarried and childless. The women working in the workforce will be half.
graduate program. Now, 60 years after the release of the birth control pill, young women are steaming ahead. In the UK, women in their 20s earn, on average, $1,100 more per annum than their male counterparts, and they're doing way better than men on the educational front.
What's happened is that males have fallen rapidly behind females at every stage of the education system and in every advanced economy in the world. On pretty much every measure you can look at, girls are ahead of boys, and that's increasingly true even in subjects like math and science. Nobody predicted that once girls and women caught up with boys and men, that they would keep going, and that we would now have a bigger gender gap in higher education than we did 50 years ago, just the other way around.
After centuries of men dominating the economy, most of the job growth is in industries where women traditionally work, and those jobs require more education. The latest piece of data is that women are dominating college enrollment. In a few years, 2 women will earn a degree for every 1 man. In fairness, many young...
And that's going to be a huge problem for women. So now, not only are you guys spending too much time on social media and dating apps, but now you're also graduated from college, and for every man that you meet, for every 10 men that you meet, only 5 of them will have a college degree. So they already are unqualified based on the criteria that we talk about for modern women. Let's take out, guys, when they say males, I actually like that because men are not having a problem with these statistics. It is males and below. I think we're producing way too many males. I've said that, been record. There are too many males being produced in society by single mama households, dads being present but not present, the education system, and it's putting us at a disadvantage. And that's just in dating. So that's just talking from a perspective advocating for women. You don't even have enough options to choose from based on simple criteria of college educated. For every 2 women with a degree, there will be 1 man. So that means the men, conversely, who have a degree will be able to choose from 2 women. And I know women ain't gonna like that. Y'all don't like that. Forget that. I don't need him to have options. I need to be the option. And I don't want to share, and I don't want to compete.
Young men are dodging college with good reason.
The typical graduate of a 4-year university is going to walk into their first job with $26,000 in debt, and all too often.
It's actually going to be more. If you walk into your first job after a 4-year degree with $26,000 in debt, good for you. It's probably going to be more like 120. Because what these statistics never take into account is lifestyle is usually paid for by student loans. It's been going on since the late 90s. People have been getting net, we used to call them net checks. You getting net checks and running out to the mall, running out to a cruise, running overseas, paying for their rent, paying for their car pay, going over and getting a lease in college. That's the main reason that college debt has ballooned, is the cost of college is so much more. College students have a better lifestyle than most 25-year-old men and women who are working full time. There's no debate there.
Often, that college degree, which was supposed to promise a stable middle-class life, is falling far short of expectations. About a third of the nation's colleges leave students high.
Again, men are not sitting up here crying about this. This is why I'm like the fact that in this documentary or this article, they're saying males. Because males are sitting up here complaining about the fact that they're not able to do certain things.
And dry, earning less after obtaining their degree than the typical high school graduate 10 years after graduation. Somewhere around 40% of college grads are underemployed. That means they're working in jobs that do not actually require a 4-year degree.
But the fact remains that adults with a bachelor's degree earn an average of $2.8 million during their careers, 1.2 million more than the median for workers with a high school diploma.
Think about how many jobs that have nothing to do with college still require a degree. And from there, that's just the entry point. Media, economics, politics, law, business, almost all professional jobs today require a college degree.
I can tell you what doesn't require a college degree: a trade, a 2-year trade, an apprenticeship program in HVAC, plumbing, electric, carpentry, masonry, low voltage, fire and access. None of those require a 4-year degree. and they all pay about $70,000 a year minimum. And they'll actually pay you while they teach you how to do it. If you're willing to get in a truck, get on a ladder, and go up men, that's why the traditional men are the ones who are in those roles. Again, and those men who understand what I just said are not bothered. They don't have a mating crisis. They can get a tradition. Even if he's modern, he can get a modern one. Because work is not going to be a problem. Drive around your local city today, tomorrow, next week, and look at all the help wanted signs on trucks that are driving by. Look at the age of the people who are on the truck. They got 1 foot in retirement and in the grave. They're just working because it's easy. If you've been working in an HVAC role for the past 25, 30 years, and you can retire at 30, why retire at 30? They're willing to pay me $200 an hour. I mean, let that sink in, guys. So don't sit here and believe this. It's not all about a 4-year degree, and you need a high value skill. And there are more high value skills than you working at a law firm, working in front of a computer for a staffing firm, to being a recruiter, to working on a tech company in customer success. There are more jobs. There are more important jobs that are out here that are going unfulfilled. We have 4 million jobs as of this reporting that are open. And before you at me saying, well, most of those are ghost jobs, let's take out 1 million. That's still 3 million jobs. And we're not talking about entry-level fast food. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about seasonal retail. We're talking about warehousing. We're talking about transportation. We're talking about trades. We're talking about high touch, high risk, high involvement. Businesses cannot function without these people. That's where you have to go, and that's where men go. Don't go with what's comfortable. College imbalance, unpartner rise, or problem with jobs. This is a male problem.
It's simply a bare minimum to even get a shot at competing.
Ultimately, it all depends on the individual college and student respectively. A declining male presence in higher education suggests that men are on the road to becoming less competitive in the economic sphere than before. And that's bad news for the dating market. Why? Because women are hypergamous, which means that they're biologically wired to select sexual partners who are as competent or more competent than they are.
It's not going to
Hypergamy is a good thing, for if our female ancestors had been inclined to have sex with and reproduce with men who are unable to defend or acquire resources for them, our species probably would have died out a very long time ago. But see, the thing is, when women become the higher achieving sex in the social order, hypergamy prevents many men and women from finding suitable mates. Because a large pool of women find attraction in only a very small pool of highly promising or successful men.
I just want to know why it is so hard to find a guy that I'm attracted to that isn't an asshole. Where did all the good men go?
Can someone tell me where I can find a decent, loyal, funny, good-looking guy around here?
This reality is playing out on modern dating apps like Tinder. Data reveals that men swipe right on about 60% of female profiles, whereas women swipe right on only 4% of male profiles. On account of being scarcely available, these few desirable men are free to set the rules of the dating game. And as the renowned evolutionary psychologist David Buss said in 2015, research overwhelmingly shows that men harbor, on average, a greater desire for sexual partner variety.
So what you see, where there is a surplus of women and a scarcity of men, is more casual dating, because the men get to make the rules. If there are fewer men than there are women...
Chris Williams is really good too, guys. You guys who do not follow him.
The women have to compete, and the only way that they can compete is by playing the game that the men want.
This sexual paradigm has long been referred to as hookup culture, and it often sees attractive women moving from one short-term relationship to another, unable to tie down the men they desire to committed, long-term, monogamous relationships.
I don't know how I always end up in the exact same situation. It's always great. And I feel like these people I meet, I'm like, wow, like I'm finally clicking with somebody. And then it's always the same thing. They're not in a place where they are looking for a relationship. They have other things that are more important.
They are.
And I'm just like I'm never good enough. Every single boy I go on a date with.
Or ladies, you're not good enough for him, because typically the guy that you're attracted to is what we say in part 1 and part 2, ding 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 city, or male. Males have what I refer to in an article Future talk, they talk a good game to you. They say all the right things, but they never deliver on the promise. They can't. They're incapable. And city boys don't even lie to you. They do just enough to hook up, and then they're done. And then you're sitting there like, oh, why did I have another guy break my heart? I'm going to be different this time. You're not going to be different. It doesn't matter. It's what you're choosing. So from Modern Woman Archives YouTube channel, which I've seen, the problem is you. Stop picking city boys and stop picking males. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I want a relationship. Oh, I'm just looking for the right person. I'm so loyal. Like, I just want a relationship. We have a really good date and then I just don't hear from them again.
That means
or I do for like a couple of days and then they ghost.
Because that means he didn't have a good date with you. It was a bad date. Something you said turned him off or did turn him off. I know that that's hard for modern women in any category to hear. So if you're a female or city girl especially, how dare he say that about me? I'm awesome. You're not that awesome. If you think things are going well and clicking and he does not follow up, you did something wrong. You said something that turned him off. You reminded me of, you reminded him. Come on, okay.
Like, I've seriously fucking had enough. I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life.
There was a time when if men wanted to have sex, they had to marry you. Whereas now, the price of sex is Netflix and chill. So the standards have changed, and we've allowed them to change because we wanted to prove that we could do it just as bad as the boys. And I think that that is backfiring.
The result is a quite distorted sexual marketplace.
If you have more lax rules around casual sex before marriage and birth control, which means that you can have sex without fear of having children, that means that women can have sex with high-value men who are perhaps higher value than they would usually have access to, which then skews their goals moving forward about who they want to be in a long-term relationship with.
Because when they were sleeping with these really attractive guys, they thought, okay, this person is attracted to me because I'm on his level, not knowing that men drastically reduce their standards when it comes to casual situations.
I don't even have to say anything. That's what's so funny. Most women are not having sex with high-value men. That is the one thing that I will check there. They're having sex with city boys and males. They believe that they are high value. They're not. High value is less than 10% of the video marketplace at any given time. So remember, let's do the math. 2 women have a degree for every 1 man. So that means when I meet 10 men, 5 have a degree. Of that number, half of a man is going to be high value. But they're having sex with 3 out of those 5 men. So half of the man that they met was high value. Even on a better number, where they need 20 men, 1 of the men was going to be high value. A large portion of them are city or males. Because they're not sleeping with the guy. They don't spend time with the boy. And a modern and traditional man, depending on what type of woman that she is not going to be bothered. It's rarely going to be high value, guys. The word high value has been thrown around to also equate attractive, and it's not just attractive. And I need us to move on. That's why we're here doing this work.
And if you do have this experience with this guy and it was a fantastic experience and you're head over heels for him, you want to replicate that experience in the next sort of relationships you have. But if that guy that you're dating doesn't quite reach that standard, you're never going to be happy.
Men, on the other hand, are struggling not only to find long-term partners, but even to have sex at all. Sadly, many have become too apathetic and devoid of confidence to even bother trying.
I feel like possibly my self-esteem is like so low that I've subconsciously ruled out the possibility of ever like getting a girlfriend or whatever.
Generally speaking, the only people who are significantly benefiting from this state of affairs are the limited number of high-status men.
That top slice of playboys, they're having simultaneous relationships all back to back.
City boys.
It's great for them in the short term. It's rubbish for the other men, and it's also rubbish for the women because you end up with women who actually really want to have.
Well, stop making your decisions based on the 3 C's. Start making your decisions on long-term logical decisions of who is going to make the best husband and best father for my children. That's what's missing in this thing. So I'm just going to stop it right there. I'm going to stop it right there because they make me mad. I just want to know what you guys think. Is there a mating crisis? I understand and I know the dating market is doomed unless you subscribe to what we believe here. TMG Book Series, How to Get Great Dating Hookups in the Modern World. Y'all need to get in the church. Y'all need to be at the temple. Y'all need there. That poor young man on there got on YouTube and said, I believe my self-esteem is just so low. Unacceptable. But I want to know what you guys think. Is there a mating crisis? Are you experiencing that? And what needs to be done in order to get women, modern, to stop dating males and city boys and equating that with high value status? That's what I'm tired of. I'm the author, I'm the creator. I've been your host, I am Greg. Thank you and have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining.